Hello everyone, welcome back to Speak English with Raksha. I'm really happy you are here today, learning step by step and growing slowly but surely.
Hi everyone, welcome back. If you are new, this is your safe space where you can improve your English and also improve your life, one day at a time.
So today, we are going to talk about something powerful, something that can completely change your mindset, your confidence, and your future.
I'm curious. What is today's topic, Raksha? It already sounds very exciting and a little emotional too.
Today's topic is, it's your turn to win in 2026.
Wow, that sounds strong. But Raksha, many people watching this might feel like they are not ready to win anything yet.
That's exactly why this video is important, because winning doesn't start outside. It starts inside your mind, inside your thoughts, inside your daily habits.
So you are saying winning is not luck, it is something we build slowly every single day?
Exactly, Lohi. Most people think success comes suddenly, but actually it comes from small, consistent actions that we repeat again and again.
That makes sense. But what if someone feels tired, confused, or even scared to start again?
That's normal. Everyone feels that way at some point. The important thing is not to stop. Even a small step forward is still progress.
I think many students watching this feel stuck. They want to improve their English, their career, their life, but they don't know where to begin.
Let me tell you something simple. You don't need a perfect plan to start. You just need a decision, a strong decision, that you will not give up.
So the first step to win in 2026 is making a decision?
Yes, a clear decision, a promise to yourself that this year will be different, no matter how difficult things feel right now.
I like that. But Raksha, how can someone stay motivated every day? Motivation comes and goes, right?
You're right. Motivation is temporary. That's why we need discipline. Discipline means doing things even when you don't feel like doing them.
That sounds a little difficult, honestly.
It is difficult in the beginning, but slowly it becomes your habit, and once it becomes your habit, it becomes your strength.
So winning is not about big actions, it is about small habits repeated daily?
Yes. For example, speaking English for just 5 minutes daily can create a big difference over time.
Only 5 minutes? That sounds easy.
Exactly. Keep it simple. Don't try to do everything in one day. Focus on small improvements.
I think many people fail because they expect quick results and give up too early.
That's true. Success needs patience. Growth needs time. But the results are always worth it.
So if someone is watching this and feeling lost, what should they do right now?
They should take a deep breath and tell themselves, I am starting again, slowly but strongly.
That sounds powerful. Even I feel motivated hearing that.
Good, because this is just the beginning. In this video, we are going to break everything down step by step.
I'm ready. Let's help everyone believe that 2026 can truly be their year.
Yes, because this time, it's not someone else's turn.
It's your turn.
It's your turn to win. Lohi, let's talk about something very real. Why do people feel like they are always losing in life?
Maybe because things don't go as planned? Or maybe they compare themselves with others too much.
Exactly. Comparison is one of the biggest reasons people feel unhappy and unsuccessful.
I agree. When I see others doing better, I sometimes feel like I'm behind in life.
But here's the truth. Everyone has a different journey, different struggles, different timing.
So comparing our life with someone else's life is not fair then?
Not at all. It only creates pressure and self-doubt. Instead, you should compare yourself with your past version.
That means I should focus on becoming better than yesterday's me.
Yes, even a small improvement matters. Learning one new word, speaking one sentence, understanding one concept, all of it counts.
That feels more realistic and less stressful.
Exactly. Growth should feel encouraging, not painful.
But Raksha, what about failure? Many people are afraid of failing again.
Failure is not the end. It is a lesson. Every failure teaches you something important.
But it still hurts when things don't work out.
Of course it hurts, but that pain can either stop you or make you stronger. The choice is yours.
So failure is not a sign to quit, it is a sign to learn.
Yes, and remember, every successful person has failed many times before winning.
That's true. We only see their success, not their struggles.
Exactly. So don't judge your beginning by someone else's middle.
That line is powerful. I think many people need to hear that.
Yes, because your journey is unique, and your success will also be unique.
So in 2026, instead of comparing, we should focus on improving ourselves.
Absolutely. Focus on your growth, your learning, your effort.
I feel like this mindset can remove a lot of pressure.
It does. When you stop comparing, you start enjoying your progress.
And when you enjoy the process, you don't feel like quitting.
Exactly. That's the secret. Love the process, and success will follow.
I'm starting to understand winning is not just about results, it is also about mindset.
Yes, Lohi, and mindset is something you can control every single day.
So even if someone is struggling right now, they still have the power to change their story.
100%. Your past does not decide your future. Your actions today do.
That gives hope, real hope.
Good, because hope is the first step toward change.
So let's remind everyone again.
Stop comparing
Start improving.
and believe in your journey.
Because this time,
It's your turn to win.
Lohi, now let's talk about something very important, habits.
because your daily habits decide your future more than your dreams do.
Really? I always thought dreams are the most important part of success, not small daily habits.
Dreams give direction, but habits create results. Without habits, dreams stay only as ideas inside your mind.
That makes sense, but sometimes building good habits feels very difficult, especially when we feel lazy or distracted.
Yes, it feels difficult in the beginning, but remember, even the strongest habits start very small and very simple.
So we don't need to start big, we can start with something very small and manageable.
Exactly. For example, if you want to improve your English, start with just 5 minutes of speaking every day.
5 minutes sounds easy, but will that really make a big difference over time?
Yes, it will, because consistency is more powerful than intensity. Doing something daily is better than doing a lot once a week.
I think many people start with too much energy and then stop suddenly after a few days.
That's true. They try to change everything at once, and then they feel tired and give up completely.
So the smarter way is to go slow and stay consistent?
Yes, slow progress is still progress. Never underestimate small efforts done daily.
But Raksha, what about distractions? Mobile phones, social media and overthinking, they take so much of our time.
You are right. Distractions are everywhere, but you need to learn how to control your time, not let your time control you.
That sounds powerful, but how can we do that practically?
Start by setting simple rules. For example, no phone while studying, or fix time for social media every day.
That means we need to create discipline in our daily routine?
Exactly. Discipline protects your goals from distractions.
I like that line. Discipline protects your goals. It sounds very strong and meaningful.
Yes, because without discipline, even the best plans will fail.
So, habits and discipline work together to build success?
Absolutely. Habits make things automatic, and discipline helps you stay consistent even on difficult days.
What should we do on days when we feel very low and don't want to do anything?
On those days, just do the minimum. Even one small step is enough. Don't break your habit completely.
So, instead of stopping, we should reduce the effort but continue the habit.
Yes, because once you stop completely, it becomes very hard to start again.
That is true. Restarting always feels harder than continuing.
Exactly. So protect your habits like they are your future.
I feel like habits are like seeds. If we take care of them daily, they grow into something big.
That's a beautiful way to say it. And in 2026, those small seeds can become your biggest strength.
So if someone wants to win in 2026, they should focus on building strong daily habits from today?
Yes, start small, stay consistent, and trust the process.
And slowly, those habits will change their life completely.
Exactly. Because success is not one big moment. It is a result of many small moments done right.
I feel motivated. Even 5 minutes daily doesn't sound impossible anymore.
Good. Because winning does not require perfection. It only requires consistency.
So let's remind everyone again.
Build small habits
Stay consistent every day
and protect your time and focus.
because this year,
It's your turn to win.
Lohi, now let's talk about something that stops many people from growing. Fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of starting.
Yes, Raksha. I think fear is very common. Sometimes I want to try something new, but I feel scared about what will happen.
That's completely normal. Fear is a natural emotion, but the problem starts when fear controls your decisions.
So fear itself is not bad, but letting fear stop us is the real problem.
Exactly. Fear is just a feeling, not a fact. It does not decide your future unless you allow it to.
That sounds powerful, but in real life, fear feels very strong and very real.
Yes, because your mind tries to protect you from failure or embarrassment, but sometimes it also stops you from growing.
I think many people are afraid of what others will say if they fail or make mistakes.
That's true. Fear of judgment is very common, especially when learning something new like speaking English.
Yes, many learners hesitate to speak because they are afraid of making mistakes in front of others.
But let me tell you something important. Mistakes are proof that you're trying and learning.
So making mistakes is not something to be ashamed of.
Not at all. In fact, mistakes are necessary for improvement. Without mistakes, there is no learning.
That makes sense. But still, people feel embarrassed when they make mistakes.
That's because they focus too much on others' opinions. But remember, most people are busy with their own lives.
So we should focus more on our growth instead of worrying about what others think.
Exactly. Your progress is more important than someone else's opinion.
I like that. It feels freeing in a way.
Yes, because when you stop fearing judgment, you start expressing yourself more confidently.
And that will help in speaking English also, right?
Absolutely. Confidence comes when you stop being afraid of making mistakes.
So fear is like a wall and we need to break it step by step.
Yes, and the best way to break fear is through action.
Action? You mean we should do the thing we are afraid of?
Exactly. If you're afraid to speak, start speaking, even if it is not perfect.
That sounds scary but also exciting.
Growth always feels uncomfortable in the beginning, but that discomfort is a sign that you're improving.
So feeling uncomfortable is actually a good sign.
Yes, it means you're stepping out of your comfort zone.
I have heard that real growth happens outside the comfort zone.
That's absolutely true. If you stay comfortable all the time, you will not grow.
So in 2026, we should choose growth over comfort.
Yes, choose progress over fear and action over excuses.
But what if someone fails even after trying?
Failure is not the end, it is just a part of the journey. Learn from it and try again.
So the only real failure is not trying at all.
Exactly. If you don't try, you lose the chance to grow and succeed.
I feel like fear loses its power when we take action.
Yes, action builds confidence and confidence reduces fear.
That is a very important cycle to understand.
Yes, so don't wait to feel ready. Start even if you feel scared.
Because courage is not the absence of fear, it is acting despite fear.
Very well said, Lohi. That's exactly what people need to remember.
So if someone is watching this and feeling scared to start, what should they do?
They should take one small step today. Just one step is enough.
And that small step can lead to bigger changes over time.
Yes, because every big success starts with a small, brave decision.
I feel motivated now. Fear doesn't seem that powerful anymore.
Good, because fear should never control your life.
So let's remind everyone again.
Don't let fear stop you
Take action even if you feel scared.
and learn from every mistake.
Because this year,
It's your turn to win. Lohi, now let's talk about something that many people ignore, but it is very important. Consistency over time.
we already spoke about habits, but consistency feels a little deeper than that. Can you explain more clearly?
Yes, habits are what you do daily, but consistency is how long you continue those habits without giving up.
Oh, I understand now. So starting is easy, but continuing for a long time is the real challenge.
Exactly. Many people feel excited in the beginning, but after a few days they lose interest and stop.
Yes, that happens a lot. Even I have started many things with energy but didn't continue for long.
That's very common. But the people who win are not the most talented, they are the most consistent.
So success is not about doing something perfectly, but doing it regularly for a long time.
Absolutely. Even if your effort is small, if you repeat it every day, it becomes powerful.
But Raksha, sometimes we feel bored doing the same thing daily. How do we stay consistent then?
Good question. You need to remember your reason. Why did you start in the first place?
So our purpose or goal should be clear in our mind.
Yes, when your reason is strong, it becomes easier to stay consistent even when you feel bored or tired.
That makes sense. Without a strong reason, it is easy to quit.
Exactly. And another thing, don't depend only on motivation. Motivation changes every day.
So what should we depend on instead of motivation?
Build a routine, a fixed time and place for your practice. Routine makes consistency easier.
Like studying at the same time every day or practicing English daily at a fixed time.
Yes, when it becomes part of your daily routine, you don't think too much, you just do it.
That sounds simple and practical.
It is simple but very powerful. Small routines create big results over time.
But what if we miss one day? Does that mean we are not consistent anymore?
Missing one day is not a problem, but missing many days becomes a habit.
So we should not feel guilty for missing one day, but we should not let it continue.
Exactly. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for consistency.
That feels less stressful and more achievable.
Yes, perfection creates pressure, but consistency creates progress.
I think many people stop because they expect perfect results quickly.
That's true. But real growth is slow and sometimes invisible in the beginning.
Invisible? What do you mean by that?
You may not see results immediately, but inside you're improving every day.
So even if we don't see progress, we should trust the process.
Yes, trust that your effort is building something strong inside you.
That requires patience, right?
Yes, a lot of patience, but patience and consistency together create success.
I feel like consistency is like watering a plant daily. We don't see growth instantly, but slowly it becomes strong.
That's a perfect example. If you stop watering, the plant stops growing.
So if we stop practicing, our progress also stops.
Exactly. That's why consistency is more important than speed.
So even slow learners can succeed if they stay consistent.
100%. Speed doesn't matter. Consistency matters.
That gives hope to many people who feel they're slow learners.
Yes, everyone learns at a different pace and that is completely okay.
So in 2026, we should focus on showing up every day no matter how we feel.
Yes, show up even on difficult days. Even small effort is enough.
Because small efforts done daily create big results.
Exactly. And over time, you will see a big transformation.
I feel like consistency is the real secret behind every success story.
It truly is. There is no shortcut, only consistent effort.
So let's remind everyone again.
Stay consistent every day
Build strong routines
and trust the process.
because this year,
It's your turn to win.
Lohi, now let's talk about something that many people struggle with, patience. Because without patience, it is very difficult to continue anything for a long time.
Yes, Raksha. I think this is very true. Nowadays, everyone wants quick results, fast success, and instant improvement.
Exactly. But real growth does not happen instantly. It takes time, effort, and a lot of patience.
But waiting for results can feel frustrating, especially when we are working hard and not seeing immediate progress.
I understand that feeling, but you need to remember, just because you cannot see progress, it does not mean progress is not happening.
That sounds interesting. Can you explain that a little more?
Yes, think about learning English. In the beginning, you may feel like you are not improving, but slowly your understanding becomes better.
So, improvement happens inside first and then it shows outside?
Exactly. First, your mind learns, then your confidence grows, and finally, your speaking improves.
That means we need to trust the process even when results are not visible.
Yes, trust is very important. If you keep doubting your progress, you will lose motivation quickly.
I think many people quit just before they start seeing real results.
That's true. They stop when they are very close to improvement.
That is actually very sad. All their effort goes to waste because they did not wait a little longer.
Exactly. That's why patience is a powerful quality. It keeps you going even when things feel slow.
But Raksha, how can we develop patience? It is not easy to stay calm and trust the process.
Start by focusing on your daily effort, not just results. Appreciate your small progress.
So instead of thinking about big success, we should focus on small achievements.
Yes, celebrate small wins. For example, learning a new word or speaking one sentence correctly is progress.
That makes the journey more enjoyable and less stressful.
Exactly. When you enjoy small progress, you don't feel like quitting.
I think patience is also connected with mindset.
Yes, it is. A strong mindset helps you stay calm and focused during slow progress.
So if we improve our mindset, patience will also improve.
Absolutely. Everything is connected. Your thoughts, habits, discipline, and patience all work together.
That's very interesting. It feels like success is not one thing but a combination of many small qualities.
Yes, success is a combination of small things done right for a long time.
I feel like patience is what keeps everything stable.
Exactly. Without patience, consistency breaks, and without consistency, results stop.
So patience protects our consistency.
Yes, that's a beautiful way to say it.
But what should we do when we feel like giving up?
Take a break, but don't quit. Rest your mind, then come back stronger.
So stopping for a short time is okay, but giving up completely is not.
Exactly. Rest is part of the journey, but quitting ends the journey.
That is a very important difference.
Yes, learn to pause, not to stop.
I like that line. It is simple but very meaningful.
Because sometimes all you need is a little rest, not a full stop.
So in 2026, we should stay patient and trust our journey?
Yes, be patient with yourself. Growth takes time, and that is completely normal.
And slowly, all our efforts will start showing results.
Exactly. One day, you will look back and feel proud of how far you have come.
That will be a beautiful moment.
Yes, and that moment will come if you don't give up.
So let's remind everyone again.
Be patient with your progress.
Trust the process.
And keep moving forward.
Because this year,
It's your turn to win. Lohi, now let's talk about something very important, self-belief. Because without believing in yourself, it is very hard to achieve anything.
yes, Raksha, I have noticed that when I don't believe in myself, I don't even try properly.
Exactly. Self-belief gives you the courage to try, to fail, and to try again without losing hope.
But what if someone feels like they're not good enough? How can they build self-belief?
Good question. Self-belief does not come suddenly. It is built slowly through small actions and small achievements.
So we don't need to feel confident first. We can build confidence by taking action?
Yes, exactly. Action creates confidence, not the other way around.
That is interesting. Many people wait to feel confident before starting something new.
And that's why they never start. You don't need full confidence to begin. You just need a little courage.
So courage comes first and confidence follows later?
Yes, when you take action, even small action, your mind starts believing that you can do it.
I think this is very helpful for English learners. Many people hesitate to speak because they don't feel confident.
That's true, but confidence in speaking comes only after speaking many times.
So mistakes and practice build confidence over time?
Exactly. Every small success adds to your self-belief.
But Raksha, what about people who have failed many times? They might feel very low about themselves.
Yes, that happens, but past failures do not define your future ability.
So even if someone failed before, they can still succeed in the future.
100%. Your past is just a lesson, not a life sentence.
That line is very powerful. It gives hope to people who feel stuck.
Yes, because everyone deserves a second chance, and a third, and a fourth.
So self-belief is like giving yourself another chance again and again?
Exactly. Believing that you can improve no matter how many times you fall.
I think another problem is that people focus too much on their weaknesses.
That's true. Instead, they should also notice their strengths and progress.
So we should remind ourselves of what we are doing right, not only what we are doing wrong.
Yes, balance is important. Recognize your efforts and appreciate your growth.
That will make us feel more confident and motivated.
Exactly. When you see your own progress, your belief becomes stronger.
But sometimes people compare themselves with others and feel less confident.
That's why we said earlier, don't compare. Everyone has a different journey.
So self-belief grows when we focus on our own progress?
Yes, focus on your path, your effort, and your improvement.
I feel like self-belief is like a muscle. The more we use it, the stronger it becomes.
That's a perfect example. Every time you try, your self-belief becomes stronger.
And every time we avoid trying, our self-belief becomes weaker.
Exactly. That's why taking action is very important.
So even small actions can build strong confidence over time?
Yes, never underestimate small wins.
I feel more confident already just understanding this.
Good, because confidence starts from understanding and grows through action.
So in 2026, we should believe in ourselves even if we are not perfect.
Yes, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to believe that you can improve.
And that belief will push us forward every day.
Exactly. Self-belief is the fuel that keeps you moving.
So let's remind everyone again.
Believe in yourself.
Take small actions daily.
And never give up on your growth.
Because this year,
It's your turn to win.
Lohi, now let's talk about something very important. Taking responsibility for your life. Because real change starts when you stop blaming and start owning your journey.
That sounds serious, Raksha. What do you mean by taking responsibility in a simple way?
It means accepting that your life is in your hands. Your actions, your choices, and your effort decide your future.
But sometimes situations are difficult. What if someone has problems, family pressure, or limited resources?
That's true. Life is not equal for everyone. But even in difficult situations, you still have control over your effort and attitude.
So we may not control everything, but we can control how we respond.
Exactly. That is where your power lies. You cannot always change your situation immediately, but you can change your actions.
I think many people blame their past or their situation for not moving forward.
Yes, and that keeps them stuck. Blaming gives temporary comfort, but it does not create progress.
So instead of blaming, we should ask ourselves what we can do now.
Yes, always focus on solutions, not excuses.
That sounds simple, but sometimes it is difficult to accept our mistakes.
It is difficult, but it is necessary. Accepting your mistakes is the first step to improving.
So mistakes should not be hidden or ignored.
No, learn from them. Every mistake is a lesson that helps you grow.
I feel like when we accept responsibility, we also become stronger mentally.
Yes, because you stop depending on others and start trusting yourself.
That builds confidence, right?
Absolutely. Responsibility and confidence go together.
But what about people who keep waiting for the perfect time to start?
That is another problem. There is no perfect time. The best time to start is now.
So waiting for the right moment is just another excuse.
Yes, if you keep waiting, you will lose valuable time.
I think many people say, I will start tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes.
Exactly. That habit needs to change. Start today, even if it is a small step.
So action is more important than planning?
Yes, planning is important, but without action, it is useless.
That is very true. Many people plan a lot but don't take action.
Yes, and that creates frustration. Action brings clarity and results.
So we should focus more on doing than thinking too much?
Exactly. Don't overthink. Start doing.
I feel like responsibility also means being honest with ourselves.
Yes, be honest about your effort. Ask yourself, am I really trying my best?
That question can make a big difference.
It does, because when you are honest, you know what you need to improve.
So growth starts with honesty and responsibility.
Yes, when you accept your reality, you can start changing it.
I think this mindset can change someone's entire life.
It can, because once you take responsibility, you stop waiting and start acting.
And that is when real progress begins.
Exactly. Progress begins when excuses end.
That line is very powerful. I think everyone should remember this.
Yes, no more excuses, no more waiting.
Only action, growth, and belief.
Exactly. Step by step, day by day.
So in 2026, we should take full responsibility for our growth.
Yes, own your journey and take control of your future.
Because no one else can do it for us.
Absolutely. Your life is your responsibility.
I feel very clear now. It's all about taking action and being accountable.
Yes, and once you start doing that, everything begins to change.
So let's remind everyone again.
Stop blaming
Start taking responsibility
and take action every day.
because this year,
It's your turn to win. Lohi, we have come to the final part of this video, and I feel this is the most important moment for everyone watching.
yes, Raksha, it feels emotional. We spoke about habits, mindset, fear, consistency, patience, self-belief, and responsibility. Everything feels connected now.
Exactly. And now it's time to bring everything together, because knowing is not enough. Action is what truly matters.
I agree. This video is not just for listening, it is for changing something in our daily life.
Yes, even if someone changes one small habit after this video, that is a big step forward.
Raksha, if someone is watching till now, what message do you want to give them from your heart?
I want to say this. You don't need to be perfect to start. You don't need to be confident to begin. You just need to take the first step.
That sounds very comforting. Many people wait to feel ready, but they don't realize that starting creates readiness.
Exactly. Your journey will teach you everything. You just need to trust yourself and keep moving.
And even if the journey is slow, it is still worth it.
Yes, slow progress is still progress. Never forget that.
Raksha, I feel like many people watching this are struggling silently. They want to improve, but they feel lost.
I understand that feeling. And if you are one of them, I want you to know that you are not alone.
Yes, you are not alone. We are learning together, growing together, step by step.
And your effort matters. Even if no one sees it, even if no one appreciates it, your effort is building your future.
That is a very powerful reminder. Sometimes we forget to appreciate our own effort.
Yes, so be kind to yourself, be patient with yourself, and believe that you are capable of improving.
I feel like this video is not just about winning in 2026, it is about becoming a better version of ourselves.
Exactly. Winning is not just success outside, it is also growth inside.
And when we grow inside, success outside becomes easier.
Yes, everything starts from within.
Raksha, before we end, can we give them one simple plan to follow from today?
Yes, of course. Start with one small habit, stay consistent daily, speak positively to yourself, and take action even when you feel scared.
That sounds simple and clear.
Yes, keep it simple but stay committed.
And slowly their life will start changing.
Exactly. One day they will look back and feel proud that they didn't give up.
That will be a beautiful moment.
Yes, and that moment is waiting for you.
I feel really happy and hopeful after this conversation.
Me too, and I truly believe that anyone watching this can change their life if they decide to start.
So this is not the end, it is the beginning of something new.
Yes, a new mindset, a new journey, a new version of yourself.
And this time we are not waiting anymore.
No more waiting, no more excuses.
Only action, growth, and belief.
Exactly. So let's say it together one last time.
This is your moment.
This is your year.
This is your chance to grow.
And this time,
It's your turn to win.
keep learning, keep improving, and keep believing in yourself.
And we will see you in the next video.
Until then, take care and keep practicing your English every day.
Bye everyone, stay strong and keep moving forward.